I have been focusing a majority of my research for the past year or so around the limits and the thresholds of AI. I spend a lot of time studying and focusing on both the upper boundaries and the lower boundaries. Can you simply scale AI to infinity? No. Does data matter just as much as or perhaps more than hardware and architecture choices? Yes. Can you get emergent properties from under 1 billion parameters? Yes, but barely. To anyone who is smart, when they first lay eyes on AI, they reach a rather troubling conclusion. AI in and of itself is not profitable. It is not directly commoditizable. Anyone who knows these things can see it. It's no secret. There is something else that operated this same exact way once upon a time, the internet. Anyone who is smart, who can observe these things and make this conclusion, then turns their attention to what is glaringly the most profitable part of the equation. If you understand all of these base variables, data. If I were to attempt to commoditize AI using the same blueprint as the internet, I would sink my teeth directly into data. What if I told you that specific path leads to pyrite? Fool's gold. As I write this, Google is currently in the press. They have recently released Gemma, and they recently inked a massive data deal with Reddit. Both of these things have all of the normal media outlets abuzz with how great Google is currently doing in the AI race. Google is dead. This is their dying breath, and they are heavily invested in the wrong horse to turn back. I am confident enough in this prediction to put it into words. For anyone who is not aware, the Reddit dataset has existed for a few years now. If you are a pirate that surfs the bays, you can easily find it. 15 terabytes of goodness. The Wikipedia dataset is around 1 terabyte. Our current LLM models trained on the Reddit dataset. I could not say definitively lol. To anyone at all who is aware of all of these things, the biggest hole that has existed within the equation has been that Reddit dataset. It is problematic that the dataset holds so much power and influence in and of itself. No other dataset can match that size though. Well, that was a few years ago now. People who realized this equation a few years ago now have now been working for a few years on patching this hole. It's pretty well patched now, or I honestly would not be making this blog post on the subject. Hugging Face themselves were the first ones that I saw that started calling these things out directly. About a year ago now, Hugging Face started launching a campaign and language targeted at people exactly like me. Open source isn't open source if you do not also open source the data. The first time I saw this messaging, I didn't like it. It felt like Hugging Face was directly attacking me lol. If you look at my releases though, I have released more open source datasets over the past year than anything else. Hugging Face recently made an announcement that did not capture anywhere near the media attention as the Google Reddit deal, but it is arguably 10x bigger than that deal. Hugging Face released a dataset called Cosmopedia. This dataset dwarfs the Reddit dataset, and dare I say, is of much higher quality. It is a dataset that is bigger, more robust, and has better information than the Reddit datasets. So, what exactly did Google just buy? For a while, there was a big question. Can synthetic data ever be as good as real data? As data began to pour in, the answer to that question became apparent. Synthetic data is data. Data is data, whether it is created by a human hand or an AI hand. The hand creating it does not directly impact the quality. In fact, I prefer synthetic data. I can have more control over it. I can get exactly what I want out of it. Even if I get a data set of real-world data. My go-to for many months now has been to create synthetic blends out of all of those data sets. So, where exactly does this place Google? In a frankly awful position. There are simply very few people at the moment who can actually see it. Google is currently a zombie walking. All of their award-winning talent has bled off. They have zero godfathers of AI. They have zero of the researchers who wrote the attention is all you need research paper. All are gone. They have no moat, self-admittedly. And to put the nail into the coffin, they are doubling down on the only advantage they currently still have, their datasets. I can give you a really simple real-world example of all of this that anyone in the world can easily look at. It's really simple. Check it out. Just use Gemma. I do not care about the benchmarks. I do not care what articles say about it. Have you used it? It is hot garbage. I can personally build you a better LLM than Gemma to be on my laptop, and that is not an exaggeration. Don't believe me? Simply use the model. Don't listen to media reports or benchmarks about it. Use the model and tell me it doesn't suck. Google is dead. The Emperor has no clothes and has been completely exposed. The Emperor is the Emperor though. It will take a very long time for people to realize all of this. The media outlets will continue to praise and discuss whether or not it was a good or a great move that Google added Reddit to its data portfolio. The fact that Google owns all the data will be parroted by influencers over and over. So, Google will march on for a while still. Just pay attention to anyone shouting that Google actually has clothes though at the moment. That is how you can tell the stochastic parrots from the thinkers.